Built to rent. What is it and why do we like this asset class? Built to rent's not new. So it's been around for a long time, but it's been gaining in interest over the last several years. There's times when one asset class may be more valuable to invest in than another. We get the question a lot. Brady, I know apartment buildings, but what is this build to rent area really about? So let's talk about it. A quick disclaimer. I'm not your investment advisor or your tax advisor. What we're talking about today is really our personal opinions, our thoughts, and our lessons learned along the way. So, build to rent, what is it? You can think of about it in this way. So, it's like taking an apartment building, squishing it down, and spreading it out and giving everybody a backyard, some amenities, maybe some walking trails, and you get a build to rent community. Another way of thinking about this is like an entire subdivision that's managed like an apartment complex. Some people call this a horizontal apartment complex. Now, built to rent's not new, and people have been building these type of communities for a long time. So let's explore why they are growing in popularity for investors and why we ourselves like this asset class. First of all, why do we like it? There's a strong need for housing in the US. So realtor.com recently came out with an estimate that there is 6 million units of housing that is needed in the US to keep up with our population trend. Now, some are estimating this to be anywhere from 3 million to 6 million, but wherever you land in this, we're just not building enough houses over the last couple of decades. The build to rent community, it's feeding this need that people really want to move out of the apartment life and find a home. However, there's an affordability gap. And what we mean by that is these build to rent communities are a little more expensive than an apartment complex, but a lot less expensive than buying a new home. So we're still giving families that ability to spread out and grow their families just at a much more affordable rate. There's a cultural shift that's been happening, right? So millennials, they're in their peak family formation years and they're looking for a home rather than an apartment. So in the past, right, the American dream was go straight out of your parents' house, get a job, find a new house, start a family. And what we're finding is that reality and that cultural mindset has really been changing. And people are much more comfortable renting today than they ever have been. More and more people, they still want that home feel. They just don't want to live in an apartment complex. And that's really this need that we're meeting because these built to rent communities offer a pool, dog parks, clubhouses, sometimes walking trails, maybe a pond, and so on. And so they're very appealing to this population of millennials and even empty nesters that are looking for someone to take care of the yard, to take care of all the maintenance, but having a very nice and comfortable place to live. So on average, people are staying in built to rent communities about twice as long as they would apartments. So you can think of apartment buildings, we like to think around 18 months or so, 18 to 20 months for people staying on average in an apartment. However, for built to rent, it's at least twice that. And for an operator, we love this. We're always looking for ways to make our tenants happy and to extend their stay on property. And these built to rent communities are allowing us to do that much easier. What are the benefits to investors? So operations in built to rent communities, because we're building these from scratch and they're new, a lot of the expenses are different. So you can expect an expense ratio, as an example, of about 30% on these new builds. Now we're underwriting and modeling them a little higher than that for conservatism, but compared to some of our Class C workforce housing apartment complexes that maybe need some improvements, those expense ratios are around 50, even 55% on some of these buildings. Built to rent communities also tend to be recession resistant. So there's a high need for housing. There's fewer people buying housing, which means more people are renting. They can also be an inflation hedge, just like apartment buildings and multifamily and commercial real estate. Our mortgage stays the same. However, rents tend to increase, if not outperform inflation, creating this hedge against inflation in an inflationary market. The good thing about built to rent communities is that there is institutional capital being set aside specifically for built to rent communities. And these are in the billions of dollars. So institutional capital really likes these types of communities because they don't want to develop them, they don't want to stabilize them, but they really want the downstream benefits of having a new and stabilized property that's run a lot like an apartment complex, that's very attractive to tenants, that keeps people staying there longer. And that's why there's literally billions of dollars of capital being set aside for future years for these institutions to purchase these type of properties. The final reason why we like these is really what we call transformational investing. And there's two sides of that for people that know us. So on the one side, we want to make a difference in the communities that we purchase. On the other side is we want to embrace this mindset of generosity. Now, on the first half of that, these communities are really filling a need, right? There's families that are growing. They need to get out of the apartment life and into a home, but they're facing this enormous affordability gap that we have today. This is meeting their needs. And also, it's also giving them time with their families, right? The yard work is on us. The maintenance is taken care of. These are new communities. They're safe. It's creating stability for families. And all of that is in that making an impact in a community. And we really like that about these types of assets. Please take a moment, like and subscribe our channel here. Leave a comment for your thoughts on build to rent. If we missed something that you thought was really important, please let us know. I highly encourage you to share this with friends and family that you feel like they could benefit from what we've said here. If you're not already a part of our investor club, then you're also not hearing about our awesome investment opportunities. For many of our deals, we are not able to share these with the public. They are only available to the people that already have a relationship with us. So go to the link below, fill out some basic information. I'm offering you a free 15-minute call where we can get to know you and we can get to know your goals and you can ask us questions. So please click the link below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.